Executive Order 14176. Declassification of records concerning the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. Part 3. Title: Executive Order 14176, Part 3, Who was involved? Uncovering the truth behind the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and MLK. Video breakdown. 1. Introduction. Brief recap of Parts 1 and 2, explaining the declassification of records under Executive Order. Explain that Part 3 will analyze key figures, organizations, and possible connections behind the assassinations. 2. Suspected involvement and theories, based on declassified documents and historical evidence. A government and intelligence agencies. CIA, reports of covert operations, surveillance of Oswald, potential links to RFK's assassination, and COINTELPRO's efforts against MLK. FBI, J. Edgar Hoover's role, Hoover's known hostility toward MLK, suppression of evidence, and handling of JFK's assassination. Military-industrial complex, possible motives behind JFK's policies on Vietnam, Cuba, and the Cold War. B. Organized crime and the Mafia. Possible connections to JFK and RFK. FBI documents suggesting Mafia wanted revenge after RFK's crackdown on organized crime. Jack Ruby's Mafia ties, the man who killed Oswald. C. Anti-Castro Cuban groups. JFK's failed Bay of Pigs invasion and subsequent hostility from Cuban exiles. Suspected CIA involvement with Cuban exile militias. D. Lone gunman or coordinated conspiracy. Lee Harvey Oswald, patsy or trained assassin. Sirhan, mind control, political motive, or scapegoat. James Earl Ray, lone gunman or someone else behind MLK's murder. 3 new revelations from Executive Order 14176. What the newly declassified documents reveal about possible conspirators. What remains hidden. Redacted sections, missing files, potential cover UPS. 4. Conclusion and what's next. What the evidence suggests were these acts of lone gunmen or coordinated efforts. What questions still remain unanswered. What should we look for in future document releases? Who was involved? For decades, the truth behind the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has been buried under layers of secrecy. But with Executive Order 14176, thousands of once classified records have now come to light, raising even more questions about who was truly behind these historic tragedies. Was it the work of lone gunmen, or were powerful forces behind the scenes orchestrating their deaths? In this episode, we dive deep into the newly declassified documents and examine the key suspects, government agencies, intelligence operatives, and shadowy organizations that may have played a role in one of the biggest political cover UPS in history. Among the most scrutinized suspects in these assassinations are the very agencies sworn to protect the nation. The newly released files reveal the extent of CIA surveillance on Lee Harvey Oswald before he was named as JFK's assassin. Was Oswald being watched or manipulated? Then there's the FBI, led by J. Edgar Hoover, a man known for his obsession with Dr. King and the Kennedy brothers. Declassified COINTELPRO documents confirm a targeted smear campaign against MLK, but do they also hint at something more sinister? The Mafia had its own reasons to despise JFK and RFK. The Kennedy brothers cracked down on organized crime, leading to theories that mob bosses conspired to eliminate them. But if the Mafia was involved, was it acting alone or working with intelligence agencies? JFK's decision to abandon the Bay of Pigs invasion infuriated anti-Castro Cuban exiles and their CIA backers. Some theories suggest that these groups sought revenge and that they had the means and support to do it. Lee Harvey Oswald. Sirhan. James Earl Ray. Were they truly lone gunmen, or were they set up to take the fall for a deeper conspiracy? The newly declassified documents provide chilling details that may challenge the official narratives. Thanks to the declassified records, we now have more insight into these cases than ever before. But not all files have been released. Why? What secrets are still being protected? The assassinations of JFK, RFK, and MLK changed the course of history. And now, with new evidence emerging, we are left to question everything we thought we knew. Was this a coordinated effort by multiple groups? Who had the most to gain? The search for the truth is far from over.